Hello, what is up, guys? Today I'm going to talk to you guys about porting your motorized bicycle. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and tell you that porting your motorized bicycle is probably the best thing, power-wise, that you could do to your bicycle. You see those ports right there? See how nice and shiny and big they are? Now, this cylinder probably looks a little weird. It is the Dio Reed cylinder, okay? But that doesn't really matter. You see this port right here? I've gone in here and enlarged this with a Dremel to make it much, much bigger. Now it's nice and smooth, so with this port you get more gas in and more air in. Now an engine is like an air pump, so if you're putting more gas and air in through one side, you want more air coming out the exhaust side. Look at how round and big that exhaust port is. Huge. You want to go in there with your Dremel and just open it up, largen it out, polish it up nicely. But the other thing you want to be careful with is raising your exhaust port. So basically, when you wear away surface up here and raise the exhaust port up, that messes with your port timing. What's that going to go ahead and do is give you a lot more top speed, but it's going to give you a little bit less torque, and acceleration isn't going to be as good. So you got to be careful with that. You don't want to raise that too much. Another way to raise that is just simply by putting two bottom gaskets on there for a little bit more top speed. But porting the intake and the exhaust is really good for your engine. The other thing you want to look at is these transfer ports right here. If you can go ahead and port these out, go in there with a file or a Dremel and make them bigger and smoother, it will help your engine astronomically. It's the same thing with this cylinder over here. As you can see, this cylinder has been ported on the exhaust side and ported on the intake side. Even those transfer ports have been opened up a little bit. Not so much on the bottom. I should probably go ahead and get in there and work those transfer ports. But this cylinder, on a stock engine, so much power, it's unbelievable. And then, if you have just a stock engine with your stock NT carburetor and you really want to make it go good, just grab your intake port here. You can go ahead and port that out with a Dremel, a drill. You can use a file. I mean, even a file will work. And that helps so much to open up that port. It's unbelievable. And also, you got to be careful. When you're putting this back on, when you're putting your intake back on, make sure you look at your gasket and make sure there's no overhang. And you can go ahead and trim your gasket to match the port. That will also help you a lot. Even if you don't port the intake manifold, and you go onto your stock engine and trim the gasket, you will gain a lot of power.